And I'm sorry about the traffic delay this morning. I don't know what happened, but the bridge was fun. So let's call to order today's hearings of the City of Cocoa Beach Special Magistrate. My name is Lonnie Groot, and there are some, well, first of all, before I begin, are there any changes to the agenda that we can announce?
There are. So we would like to remove case number 25-327 as it has come into compliance, as well as the unpaid citation number 793 as it has also come into compliance.
Okay, so anybody, I don't know if anybody's here for those cases, but those cases are removed. So we have two cases pending. Before we do anything else, let's announce that the next hearing date is April 8th, 2026, and we will have hearings at that day.
Yes.
And I have before me the minutes of the February 11th, 2026 meeting, which I'm going to approve. Appreciate these being prepared as the Attorney General has required. So, is there anybody present for the case 25-25 or 25-178?
Yes.
There are, so okay, I'll go through the spiel for the new folks, and for anybody who's watching on YouTube, which I have done, which shows how big a geek I am. So these are hearings of an adjudicatory nature. They're quasi-judicial hearings, which means that I'm the fact finder and person who, official who makes legal conclusions. The city is the prosecutor, for lack of a better word. The city presents its case through witnesses, and at the time the city is testifying, a respondent may cross-examine the city's witnesses. At the conclusion of the city's case, the respondent then presents his, her, or its case, and the city can cross-examine the witnesses for the respondents likewise. At the end of the proceedings, I issue an oral order, and that is then placed into a written order within a few days. The city distributes the order, and that is in effect. All testimonies given under oath, and we're obviously open in the sunshine here. These are not public hearings, and that if there was somebody here from the public who wanted to speak, I'm saying this more for anybody who's watching and wondering how the city works on YouTube, I guess. These aren't public hearings, and that the public can just come and say, I think this or I think that. Only witnesses are called either by the city or by a respondent. All that being said, Ms. Crawford, do you notice anything I missed? We need to swear in witnesses, I know.
I will actually be right back. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I have that effect on people.
I can go ahead and start for her.
Okay. Well, are you going to present this case? The first one? Okay. So anybody who plans on excuse me?
Ryan's going to talk too, so maybe we should wait.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I see what we're doing.
Okay.
All right, good thinking. So anyone who plans on speaking today, your testimony must be under oath, so please stand up and raise your right hand. And we'll start with Mr. Palmer. If you state your full name. Brian Palmer.
Brooke Oxreader.
Ma'am.
Isabella Raymond.
Do each of you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in the matter tonight hearing be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Oxreader, you may proceed.
Oh, okay. This is Danielle Crawford's case. I'll be presenting for her. 25-25. The address is 138 Esther Drive. The respondent is Isabella, and I'm not sure how to say that name, Raymond. Here's the aerial view from property appraiser. On January 17th, 2025, staff completed a search of the third-party system Rentalscape and observed a vacation rental listing for 138 Esther Drive on Airbnb. The first review of the address was dated December 2019. No vacation rental registration or business tax receipt had been applied for or issued for the address. On January 17th, a notice of violation was sent to the respondent via first class and certified mail for violations of the following codes. Violations of Section 13-2, license permit required, Section 26.5-21, registration required. On January 28th, the certified mailing for the NOV was received. On July 17th, Danielle sent the first notice of hearing, and the respondents immediately responded and applied for the required vacation rental, BTR, and registration. For this reason, the hearing for the respondents was canceled in July. On August 20th, 2025, the initial life safety fire inspection was completed and failed. Respondents were given a copy of the fire inspection and list of actions required to complete to pass reinspection. Respondents continued to operate the vacation rental despite failing the inspection. On November 4th, Danielle issued 2 citations as the respondents continued to operate the business without the vacation rental, BTR, and registration, and little progress had been made on their application despite city's numerous attempts and encouragement. $250 citation for the violation of operating without the required registration, $100 citation for operating without the required business tax receipt. On December 2nd, the citations and notice of violation were posted to the property as the certified mailing for the citations were returned. On December 5th, 2025, the fire department returned for the life safety fire reinspection that was scheduled by the respondent. However, the respondent no-showed. For this reason, a $250 no-show fire fee was issued. On December 9th, the fire department completed their reinspection and the property passed the inspection. On January 21st, the respondent, Isabella Raymond, called to tell Ms. Crawford that the fees and citations were unreasonable and she would not be paying the delinquent fees and would simply remove her online listings. Ms. Crawford explained that she has been operating the vacation rental business since December of 2019 to our knowledge, and that we would be referring her to the special magistrate for the delinquent payments and illegal business operation. On January 22nd, Danielle posted the fee breakdowns to property as respondent Isabella requested via voicemail. In February of 2026, the respondent Isabella visited City Hall and spoke with Ms. Crawford and Deputy Director Brian Palmer. Isabella offered to pay $1,396.70 to operate the vacation rental business despite owing $2,746.70. That means the city would have voluntarily waived all late fees, citations, and no-show fees despite the business being operated illegally for over 6 years. For this reason, respondents were referred to the special magistrate. On February 3rd, the notice of hearing date change was sent via first class and certified mailed, followed by a posting on February 5th. On February 20th, the certified mail was received and signed for by the respondent. Per section 26.5-21, registration required, daily citations may have been issued since April 17th of 2025 when the code was adopted by the commission. Ordinance number 1697 outlines the daily penalties for operating the vacation rental without the required registration, starting with $250 for the first day, $500 for the second day, and $1,000 for the third day and every day subsequent. From April 17th to March 11th, the respondents could have been issued citations in total of $326,750. Oh, that was a lot.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Just real quick, I did have a meeting with the property owner in regards to the fines and the subsequent payment owed. And then I decided to kind of do a little deep dive into the code to see actually where we could be standing here today. And after adding all the penalties up, all the possible citations, all the possible everything, if the city would have held to the code verbatim, we could be standing here asking for $111,675.45 in fines. However, the city, due to the fact that this vacation rental has been operating for 7 years without a BTR, at least 3 years without a BTR and a vacation rental registration. The code allows for these monthly noncompliance fines to the BTR requirements. It also allows for citations to be issued per day that they are in violation of the code for over 3 years. The respondent is requesting to have all penalties waived and only pay for the registration and BTR fees. The fire reinspection fee cannot be waived by the city. That would be waived by the fire department. So we have a breakdown here of what the city is actually asking for. Instead of a complete 7-year to 3-year fines, the city is asking for 2 certificate of use fees for the past 2 years, 2 BTR fees for the past 2 years, the new application fee that's automatically done when they apply for the BTR, the late fee, which is that's the citation, correct? Which is the citation that was issued for operating without a BTR. The annual life and safety inspection no-show fee of $250. And then, of course, just your registration that's due every year with the late fee. So we're asking for basically 2 citations and then the late fees at $2,746.70. The respondent is asking us to waive the late fees, waive the annual life inspection fees, waive the citations, waive the late fee on the registration. So she will pay $1,396.70, which is $1,350 discount for basically operating a business in the city of Cocoa Beach for over 6 years. The other, I had one more thing and I just lost train of thought. I'm so sorry. The other is the code also stipulates that if the individual does not have a business tax receipt or has outstanding fines associated with the business tax receipt, the code also stipulates that they are not allowed to conduct business until those outstanding fees are paid. However, the property that I know of today, I haven't been told anything different, that the property is still being rented as a vacation rental. Now, the city is also willing to stipulate, and I'll say this now before we go to our final slide. The city is also willing to stipulate that we are willing to take, we are willing to take today the $1,396.70 and allow her to come back at a later date, which can be decided in this meeting, to pay the remaining $1,350. However, the city would hold to that. If that is the case, then she would not be able to operate her vacation rental until the full fees have been paid.
Let me see if I understand what you're saying. You would be willing to accept $1,396.70 now, as long as the rental of the property discontinues, right?
Yes.
And then that issue about continuing rental would only be considered after the remaining $1,396 is paid?
No, 1,350.
50,
That's
I'm
the
sorry.
difference between
Gotcha, I'm sorry.
what she owes and what she
Gotcha.
is willing to pay.
I got that right, though, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Did you want to you have one more
Yes.
slide.
I don't need, unless you want to see them, we have slides showing the past 7 years of the advertisement.
I'd like to, if that's,
Here you go. I'll turn it back
And-
over to Ms. Crawford.
Thank you so much.
do you have a copy of this I can take with, I want to,
Absolutely.
good.
And before,
Assuming it's in her, who's the respondent?
Miss Raymond.
Okay, have you seen this PowerPoint?
No.
Okay, well, let's go through it then. Do you have any objection to it being introduced into evidence? Even though it hasn't been, the next, you want to see everything before I ask you that question? Or do you have any objection?
Well, I do have some objections regarding some of the fees.
No, I'm talking about the objection to just the document.
Okay, I've never seen.
Well, let's run through it, and then I'll ask you that
Yes.
question. Okay.
All right, thank you.
And before I show the rest of the document, would you like to swear me in?
I'm sorry.
Would you like to swear me in?
Oh, that's right, you were.
I stepped down.
I thought
I'm
I'd
so
run you
sorry.
off.
Sorry.
Ms. Crawford, do you solemnly swear, your name is Danielle Crawford.
Danielle Crawford.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony about to give in the matter now here with the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So these are screenshots taken over the last year, actually a little over a year. This first screenshot was taken January 17th, 2025. This is just showing that there was a live listing with 95 reviews. This is offering the property in discussion for vacation rental. This is a screenshot of, at the time, the latest reviews. And this is a screenshot, I believe, of the oldest reviews. You can see July 2024. This one, oh, this is the oldest review. I'm so sorry, I'm a little blind. December 2019, you can see a review from Ina. Okay. This is, again, just follow-up screenshots from later in the year. Again, just offering the unregistered property for rental in Cocoa Beach, now with more reviews. Again, the latest reviews at that time. And then here I'm just showing screenshots dating, descending in time. So 2024 to 2023. To 22, back to 2019. So that is, yeah, the
That-
totality of
okay.
the evidence.
Now do you have an objection to the PowerPoint being introduced?
No.
Okay, it's admitted into evidence. All right. Does the city have anything further?
No, nothing further.
Ma'am, do you have any questions of the city's Mr. Palmer or Ms. Crawford, or Ms. Oxreader for that matter? Do you have any questions that you'd like to ask them?
Well, I have questions about the fees.
Well, do you have questions of them, or just you want to, is that what, a presentation you're going to make to me?
All right, well, I do have one question about,
To who?
to Ms. Danielle.
Okay, come on up, come on, okay, now.
Thank you, yes, thank you. I guess I can leave this stuff back here.
Okay, now is your question to Ms. Crawford or Mr. Palmer?
It's to Ms. Crawford, really.
Okay.
When you first noticed the listing, that was in 25, is that correct?
Yes.
And as soon as I received a notification, I responded. And I don't have all the technical
Okay,
abilities.
hang on just a second.
Okay,
You asked the question, and as soon as you were notified in 2025, you asked Ms. Crawford if she responded. And
Yes,
you
she
nodded
said-
your head. Did you?
in July when I had sent the original notice of hearing. So it did take some time
Okay.
to hear back.
All right. On around January 31st, 2025 is when I believe I first,
Okay, hang on a second.
okay.
Are you through with Ms. Crawford now? You just are going to present evidence now?
Well, I
Or do you have
wanted,
questions?
so when did you say that you sent out the first notification?
In January of 2025.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I have for right now.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Crawford.
Thank you. So around January 31st, 25, I received something from Ms. Crawford. And so I was trying to access the city of Cocoa Beach website, and I was unable to do that. And so I tried several times. And so I came into the city for help because I was unable to access the information. I also had an architect that I was working with, and he also had not been able to access the City of Cocoa Beach website. So anyways, once I realized that I needed to take care of these things, I started to take care of them. I came in for help. I'm not sure if it was this young lady. Yes, she was quite helpful, thank you. She helped me with some of it, and I was trying to get everything in order, and then it took a while to get, to bring everything up to code and trying to comply. So, when I had the fire inspection, I did miss one appointment. I'm based out of Orlando, and so I transfer back and forth here. And so I was unable to attend a meeting that I had with the fire inspection. And they charged $250 for me not being able to attend, which I believe is astronomical. Doctors don't charge that, attorneys don't charge that when you miss an appointment. So I was surprised at that fee. Let me see what else here. I think Ms. Daniel and I had a misunderstanding because I was not able to receive the invoices. Originally, that's why I called her on, let me see here. I called her on 1/21/26, and I asked her for the invoices because I was unable to retrieve any of the invoices. And I also asked her that I was unable to access the business tax receipt and these vacation the vacation rental business and the RS1 registration. And I was unaware that it was already in place because they assisted me. So I wouldn't have called and asked that question if I was aware that it was there. So I thought I was still doing all these things, trying to comply. And that was 1/21/26. So then after we had a misunderstanding, I came in and I visited her personally, and I thought I would try to resolve these issues. And so I offered the check for $1,396.70 because some of those late fees, I was unaware that all that was accruing because I didn't have this access to any of this. And let me see what else. I tried several times to access the website, and I was not able to. I had an architect, he tried as well. He was unable to, because he was trying to help me do the floor plans for inside. So if we need to call him to verify that, he's willing to speak to you regarding that, okay?
This is the time to present evidence.
I understand. I do understand, that's part of it. So I appreciate them offering what they have offered. I want to pay. Unfortunately, my business isn't doing that well. I want to pay the outstanding fees. I do disagree with the $250 no-show fee. I disagree with that. And as far as the citation goes, I was looking at when, let me look at some of this here. Let's look at this. One moment. Let's see here, it's over here. All right. The registration fee was submitted on 8/1/25. It became active December 22nd, 2025. That's when that became active.
You're talking about the rent for the rentals.
I'm talking about the registration fee. Once again, I wasn't able to do this. I needed their assistance, and I really appreciate their assistance. So it became active because I needed help getting this done. So the city helped me, helped it to become active December 22nd, 2025. That's when that became active. All right.
Rental registration?
Yes, and then the BTR fee payment was submitted in 7/28/25. Again, I couldn't do any of this on my own because I didn't have access to it. So I came in for assistance. That's why.
So you're saying you paid the local business tax on 7/28?
No, sir, I didn't say I paid that. I didn't say that.
I thought
Yeah.
you said BTR, so that's what
Yeah, that's the fee. That's the fee, and it became active. So I want to pay for these things. So,
You
yes,
paid the rental registration fee when? You say,
I came in with the check.
One
Please,
second.
proceed.
I could probably explain it a little bit better. On our
you.
system, when everything populates and is ready to pay, it shows as active. That's what she's referring to. She hasn't paid anything. The registration and the BTR hasn't been paid for, but it shows on our system as active, and we can't do anything about that. That's an open gov thing.
okay, so
Okay.
can I ask, this
Yes.
may help. Let me just ask you a couple of questions, just to help me. I'm
Sure.
not taking one side or the other with this.
I
just want to know
understand.
what I'm deciding on. You're Isabella,
Yes.
and is your husband Raymond?
No, my name is Isabella Raymond.
And Susa Glende,
She's my mother.
and she owns the property with you?
Well,
Who owns the property? at
I own the
130?
property. It's been given to me. My father is deceased now, so,
Who is legal title owner of 138?
Both of
Esther
us.
Okay, both of you.
both of us.
Okay. For the local business tax, for which you get a business tax receipt, the city's alleging that you haven't paid it in 7 years. Do you agree with that?
Well, I was trying to get it all set up. to do that.
But has it been paid?
No, it has not been paid because I needed help to get it.
I got you. And the city's also alleging that you haven't paid for the rental registration.
I haven't paid for
For 3
any
years.
of it.
Okay, for 3 years. The city's only alleging 3 years, correct? So, you agree?
Yes, that's when we started to have require registrations.
Right, so for 3 years, you haven't paid the rental registration fee. But we're in agreement with that. You agree with the city that the local business tax hasn't been paid for 7 years, and the rental registration has not been paid at all for the 3 years it should have been paid. Is that what you agreed to?
I was trying to get,
You were trying, whether you were, I understand, we'll talk about that, but.
Sure.
You agree that it hasn't been paid?
it has not been paid.
Okay.
I came in to pay.
Okay. You came in to pay, okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to establish those things, make sure.
Right, I
got
came
it.
in to pay because I felt like there was a misunderstanding and there was all these late fees, and the way he, I'm sorry, I don't recall your name.
Brian,
The way Brian spoke to me in our first meeting, he said it would be best to come to this meeting. And I said, all right, I'll attend, but I was trying to pay. I thought some of the late fees were astronomical compared to some of the other municipalities.
And the late fee in particular that you've mentioned is the $250 late fee for not doing the fire inspection. Have I got that right?
that's a no-show.
That's
It's a no
for
show.
not attending an appointment.
And you realize, and I know the city, I have no jurisdiction over that.
Oh.
I have no jurisdiction over building, that is a building department fee, is it not?
No, it's an actual fire fee.
Well,
It's,
fire fee,
it's a-
building department,
But it's
For
approved by
munis-
the commission,
Right.
so the fire department would have to waive that fee
Right.
if they wanted to.
I don't have any jurisdiction over that.
All
I
right.
can't say you don't have to pay a building permit fee. I can't say you don't have to pay a fire permit fee. And it's very typical for cities and counties to, if you don't show and you have a re-inspection, then the next fee that you would have paid is doubled. Whatever that is, that's sort of common. A late fee, re-inspection fee, after the fact permit fee, they're doubled, whatever.
Is it common?
That's very common. And I'm not testifying, but I've worked with cities and counties since 1985. I don't know of a jurisdiction that doesn't have a double fee for after the fact and stuff like that. So.
Well, it was an appointment.
Well, I know, I'm just
yeah, it
telling you,
wasn't.
I have no jurisdiction.
All right, I
I
understand.
can't say, and I don't know if the city can waive it, quite frankly, because they have to treat all developers and property owners the same, and they're accountable to auditors who come in and look and see what fees they charge and who they charge them to, and auditors don't like, the word waive is an evil word in government, state, county, city, because waive means you're just discretionally say, I'm not gonna charge Joe, but I'm gonna charge Sue. And so that's an issue. I have no jurisdiction. So what I'm here for, and I'm gonna ask the city to agree so we all know what we're talking about, is whether or not the local business tax has been paid for the past 7 years. That's an issue, I know.
It has not.
And whether.
And I'm
the-
here to pay it.
Okay, whether the rental registration fee has been paid for 3 years. That's what I'm here for. Is that what the city agrees?
Yes.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, well, I'm here to pay it.
See?
That's why I'm here. I originally came in because I wanted to pay. I didn't understand. I thought some of the fees were astronomical, the late fees and things like that. And when I was reading some of this, it became active. That's what I was basing everything off of, because we didn't get this up and going. I wasn't able to without the assistance of the city, which I do appreciate.
Well, So, at this point, the city and you agree about the violations that have been alleged. The only issue is what my order is.
I agree to
And I'll
pay.
listen to you, I will listen to everything you have to say unless the city objects, and then I'll decide on their objection. But in terms of the allegations that the city has made, you've agreed that those allegations are true. You see?
I needed assistance to get all the items up and going because I was not capable of doing that. And when I
Well-
did try to get assistance, I was unable to get through their website.
Well,
Once
they'll-
I was notified, back in 2025, when I was notified, I responded. Is that correct?
In July,
Yes.
in, so 6 months later.
I'm gonna
Well,
tell, I'm gonna.
I can tell you when
I
I
don't wanna,
responded.
I really don't wanna cut you short,
Yeah.
but I really don't want to listen to things that I really shouldn't be listening to. And that is, all these complaints, you have complaints now. And those are to be directed to people other than me in the city government, you know, and in terms, whether it's this, if you don't like the website, if you don't like the response of a city, if you don't like the response of the clerk out at finance, you go to somebody else, the city manager or whoever. But right now, we have an agreement about what the violations were alleged and what the violations occurred. And so what I would do at this juncture is enter an order finding those violations. And quite frankly, as to the local business tax, you're alleging 7 years. Is that correct, city?
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to enter an order about 7 years, and whatever the statute says the fine is, that's the fine I'm going to assess.
Okay.
The ordinance,
I know, but the
disagree with
statute
that.
205,
the ordinance, our city ordinance only allows us to go back 3 years.
okay, well, so you're not alleging 7, you're alleging 3 for local business tax.
That's why we didn't go back 7 years for the fine or to collect the monies. We're only going back 2 years for the BTR. We're
So
stating that there's evidence of her operating for 7 years.
Okay.
However, the city is only asking for 2 years of BTR fees.
Okay, so at this point, what my order would say is the facts show, because you've agreed, that you haven't paid the local business tax for 7 years, but the city is only asserted violation of 2, and so whatever the statute says about the fine, is 205 prevails. We all agree with that. Chapter 205. Whatever the statute says about not paying your local business tax, that's what my order will say. And the city can add whatever the statute says, because there's things the statute can, that's all calculated by the city. You would agree with that? And I have nothing to do with that. And then, in terms of the 3 years with vacation rental, the city's asking for how much of a fine there?
For the vacation, or for the registration was a $250 citation.
So, for 3 times?
No, we issued one.
So you just
What
want,
is the
Yes,
total?
we issued one late fee for 250 or citation for 250 instead of,
I was gonna ask you to bring that up, yeah.
yes.
So,
As you can see, we issued 2 citations. We issued one for $100 per the city code for section 1321, doing business without a license, and also one for 250 that falls under section 26.5-22.
so okay, local business tax, 2 years of for non-payment. So whatever the statute says the fine is, and you can charge other things, okay. And then for the one citation for the rental registration, you only are asserting how much of a penalty?
We have one $500 late fee, and then we have the one citation issued for $250.
If I may, for the registration cost, we only have one $500 late fee instead of the 3 years.
Okay. You only do 1 year, one $500 late fee, and $250.
Yeah, and
That
So-
is for actively.
That's all for the rental registration. So there's $750 there, and then whatever the statute allows for the, now we're talking only 2 years of local failure to pay the local business tax. So, and I don't know what the calculation is there, but the city will figure it out. But I have no jurisdiction, and I will not address the annual life safety inspection fee, certificate of use fee, the, whatever that $50 fee is, the new application fee. What's that late fee, the $250 on the fee breakdown?
Oh, do you want to explain?
The
What's that?
$250 late fee, that is the one and only late fee we added for not having the business tax receipt.
Okay, but so actually, she's owes $500 for late fee on the business, on the, for business tax receipt, you said?
Yes.
Well, I'm ignoring that. So whatever the calculation is, the statute says on the business tax receipt, local business tax, that is. But I'm not going to address the annual fire and safety, life safety inspection fee, the new application fee, the $50 fee, certificate of use fee. Those are things the city charges, and they charge them uniformly to everybody who's subject to it. And I doubt very seriously if they waive it for Joe, Cindy, Harry, or Sally. You know, they just charge it, because auditors wouldn't like it if you waived it. And then that's what I would enter an order to do. And everything else, all the other fees that the city could charge, those are things between you and the city. Does that make
Right.
sense, city?
Well, I think we agree.
I can tell you this, and I interrupted
go
you
ahead.
again, that you haven't raised any legal issues, so I'm not going to talk about them, about limitations and all that. But the city has said, you've recognized that you haven't paid the local business tax for 7 years. The city says, we're only going to look at 2. Right?
Yes, sir.
You've recognized that you haven't paid the vacation rental registration fees or gone through that process for 3 years. The city says we're only going to look at 1 year. Right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
So that's a win for you right there. That's the city trying to be, I mean, I'm not lecturing you, I'm just.
No, I agree.
So I don't know what the argument is here, because
Well,
they're actually giving.
This is what it was.
They're trying to work with you as a property owner is what I see.
Right, and I was trying to work with them as well. That's why I came in, and I wanted to resolve the issue. And I told them my situation. I informed them that, I did think that the fire no-show fee was astronomical, but I understand you've already talked about that. But all these other items, as soon as I was notified, I started working on all these things that I need to get done. And I have, and that's what I tried to do. So I didn't have all the funds to pay them right away. I wanted to give them what I had, because that's what my bank account allowed. And they did not take my check. All right, I should have just paid it anyways. And then I could have paid the additional fees that they were requesting. But no problem. I'm glad I'm here. I understand the situation. And I want to pay for these items.
Okay, well,
All right? But I think we could have saved going through this process if they would have informed me that, which they did, those fees should have been paid, except I did disagree with the no-show fee. And I did. I just thought that was astronomical. And he thought it was a good idea that I did attend this.
Okay, well,
So I was never disagreeing.
It's always good to have a public discussion, but did you have anything further, though?
Well, the only other issue I have is I have that check for the 1,000, 300 and some, there it is, 1,396.70. I don't have all the other fees. So do you take a credit card? Can I put it on a credit card? Okay, so then I can do that, and then it will all be paid for.
Okay, well, I'm gonna enter my order based upon the allegations, and I'm gonna find 2 years of failure to pay the local business tax, and 1 year of failure to pay the rental registration fees, and the violation of that code, and that will be the order I issue. But I do want to say something, I typically don't do this, but if there happens to be anybody watching on YouTube or whatever, listening to this sometime in the future, I think it's important, and City, you tell me if I'm wrong in your respect, that the no-show fees that, and I'm not arguing for the city, I'm just trying to explain. The no-show fees, and I've had to explain this to other people in 50 years or whatever it is I've been doing local government. When a local government sets a time for an inspection, that means those people who were doing the inspection aren't doing another inspection, okay? Which means those hourly rates, and if you add up the hourly rates of the people who are involved in the inspection and the administration and the clerical and all that, I've done it. It exceeds the $250. I have never seen a local government pay the full price of what a service costed. They're always discounted. So that's a prudent thing to do, and it's very, very, very normal. And it's not targeting the public or anything like that. It's just normal business practice. And it may sound exorbitant, but it's not. When you calculate it out with the number of staff people that are involved and who are now not doing something else, it becomes discounted, actually. And the other thing is, most jurisdictions now will gladly take your credit card. So, you know, that's usually not an issue. And I'm sure that Cocoa Beach, that's one thing I want to put out, Cocoa Beach will take credit cards for utility payments probably, right? Impact, any fee basically, right? They'll gladly take credit cards, as do tax collectors these days too. All right.
Well, as I said, you know.
I hope that helps, but anyway.
I wasn't able to access the website, and I know that's to be addressed with the city, but that's why I came down for help. And when I did receive a notification from the code enforcement, I did respond. I'm here today to respond, and I want to take care of the bill.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
We're all in agreement with the salient facts before me are, it's just the issue of payment and calculations from this point on. Okay?
Well, that's the total? Is that correct? That
I don't
owe?
think you know, I don't think you know what the
They're
total.
saying
You
yes.
do?
This is the total that we are requesting, that it be paid
And
to bring the property in.
Well, what I just heard is that the city will take that and they will apportion it around to make sure that all the various and sundry accounts are, now you're only requesting, you want the full amount, yeah. They'll apportion that $2,746.70 to address your failure to pay local business tax, other fees and all that.
Yes, sir.
They will apportion it correctly.
And then I also just want to mention, because it's very important, the registration will have to be renewed annually, so in 1 year from today, and the BTR is the same, however, it expires September 30th. So you don't have a full year to renew the BTR, you only have until September.
Your local business tax is due on October 1st of every year.
BTR.
And if it's not paid on October 1st, then the statute says how much more the governments can charge and all that, and what penalties are, et cetera. So I have to pay it, although I'm exempt because I'm a veteran.
Do you send out an invoice for that?
Yes.
Okay, by mail?
We use email.
Yeah, unfortunately, I am not able to open up a lot of the city information, and that was one of the reasons why I came down for assistance, so
I'm happy to mail it.
I will request that, please. Thank you.
All right, well, is there anything further?
No,
Anything further
sir.
by the city?
Nope.
Then in case number 25-25, I will enter an order finding a violation of the codes as alleged, 2 years in terms of the failure to pay the local business tax, and 1 year relative to the rental registration fee. That'll be the order that'll be issued. Okay? Thank you much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next case is case number 25-178. The property address is 327 Borello Lane, and the property owner is Patricia Hayes. Is Patricia Hayes here?
Don't believe so.
No, she's not.
Okay, not just to go through the form. Would you look for Patricia Hayes, Ms. Oxreader? For the record, Ms. Oxreader is looking for Ms. Hayes in the hallways of City Hall, second floor.
Yes.
Ms. Oxreader has just announced that Ms. Hayes is not present. She has not been present in the meeting room here today. We all know that. And we have now called the halls, and she is not present in the halls. You may proceed.
Thank you. So the property in question is 327 Borello Lane, parcel ID and legal description shown above. Patricia Hayes is the owner. This is an aerial view of the property. On July 15th, 2025, I observed the property with tall grass, trash and debris, without clear and safe means of egress for emergency personnel. On July 16th, 2026, a notice of violation was sent to the respondent via first class and certified mail with violations of the following codes: 10-22, enumerated conditions; Section 302, exterior property areas, sanitation; Section 702, means of egress. And on July 21st, 2025, the certified mail was received and signed for by the respondent. The respondent called to discuss the violations and what she needed to do to come into compliance. And I believe I misspoke. That should be July 16th, 2025, not 2026. On July 4th, 2025, I went to the property and spoke with the tenants on the property and explained again how to come into compliance. On October 16th, 2025, I again spoke with the tenants about compliance. On November 18th, 2025, I spoke to the tenants about compliance. On February 10th, 2026, a notice of new hearing date was sent to the respondents via first class and certified mail, as well as hand delivered to a tenant. On February 10th, 2026, the respondent called to discuss the violations and what still needed to be completed to come into compliance and potentially cancel the special magistrate hearing. As of March 10th, 2026, the property remains in non-compliance as there's no safe means of egress and the yard is still cluttered with trash and debris. The grass has been cut and maintained in compliance. So this is an image I took in July 15th, 2025, just showing all of the trash and debris on the property. Just blocking entryways to the home. The property essentially looked the same in November of 2025. And this is March 9th, so this is last week. You can see in person that they have done some work. However, there is still a lot of trash in the yard, on the curb, and it appears to me that the means of egress might have actually worsened as there's now a table blocking the entryway into the home. The property owner, Patricia Hayes, she came in yesterday and we discussed, ways to compliance, and I believe that she understands what is needed to be done. So at this time, we are just asking until April 1st for her to clean the property and bring it into code. And then we would request any any citations or daily fines at the Massey hearing.
Okay. I noticed on the vehicle, there's a handicap license plate.
Yes.
Not to intrude on Miss Hayes's condition, but what is her handicap? Is it a mobility one, I guess?
I believe there's mobility issues, and so she heavily relies on family members to help her clean the property, and I do think that's partly why it's taken
Well, that's
so long.
obviously, that's a very kind thing for you to say, is being concerned in that regard. I guess I'm more concerned that, because one of the allegations is ingress and egress, and
Yes.
if she has mobility issues, that seems to exacerbate that. And whether her coming in or out, or somebody trying to move her in or out, like a firefighter or something like that.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very reasonable approach. April 1st for compliance, and any fine determined at the Massey hearing for failure to comply.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case number 25-178, I'll enter an order finding that the property owner is in violation of the codes as alleged. The mowing of the grass doesn't affect the code by citations at all.
No.
And the respondent will have until April 1st to come into compliance, and if they fail to, a Massey hearing will be held, and at that point in time, a daily fine will be determined if needed. That'll be the order in there.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything further that the city has to bring forward today?
No, sir.
Okay. Once again, sorry about the issue on the bridge, whatever it was, and we're adjourned.